In the late 80s, I really focused on sound and music. I had a very strong interest in performance and technology. I then moved to Salzburg in Austria and started a little production company. Along the way, I kind of maintained my interest in the visual media and just naturally gravitated over to color grading and visual effects. With color grading, we actually spend a lot of time trying to give a sense of physicality to our digital imagery in terms of giving it a retro look, and by adding film grain and just doing anything we can to give it a sense of an actual physical thing. The digital technology, it really has freed the creative process because you're not really limited by the physical media. You don't have to move film prints, you can just send it digitally. And likewise, you can cut, you can grade, you can make something and then you can just present it. In the late 90s, George Miller approached Kodak to scan and record a complete film, and this was in fact before Lord of the Rings. It was just not technically viable. When Andrew Lesnie, the DP for Lord of the Rings, and Barry Osborne, the producer, approached me about the idea of would it be possible to do such a film in this way. We spent a lot of time talking to different manufacturers, both hardware and software, to see if it would be possible to build something to work at the resolution that was needed. All of the manufacturers, in fact, said no, it was not. So we ultimately just built our own software and had it built by a color front, and we designed how we wanted it to work. And then based on that, we then worked out how to actually go about grading the film from start to finish. It was interesting in that when Andrew won his Oscar for the fellowship, so Rings 1, there was some feelings in some areas that it wasn't real lighting because we were using Windows and we were doing things digitally. But that really came back to Andrew's response and many DPs who felt that this was the future. When I was down in New Zealand, JC came down to have a look at what we're up to and showed a lot of interest and stayed in touch. And then over the years, we spoke about what we could possibly do together, as a DP, what he would really need, and as a grader, kind of what we felt. Slowly, we came up with this idea of some software and created the company Drylab. The original idea was, grading and just what could be done. So it was felt that it would have more of a future if it really focused more on dailies, the world of that, rather than to rebuild yet another grading package. I think Drylab's success is because they're very much in tune with the market. They're very approachable and not dogmatic as to how that should be, like a two-way discussion. Basically they're a partner in the process of making a film. I think the achievement of Drylab is extremely impressive, given that they're almost like the underdog. They've really taken on a couple of other quite big and very established alternates, but because it's more suited to the market, its adoption has been very impressive. So I think the future looks good for Drylab.